the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys, Joe, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.ag. Hey there, Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns. Just want to comment and say BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for football, baseball, boxing, golf, and much more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with Teja Dash, my brother, and JD will be joining us momentarily. I think he was watching the end of the game interviews with Mahomes and Rasheed Rice. But another week, we got another week of football, baby. We got another week of football. I was going to say free football, but we have the Peacock stuff tonight, which I'm curious to hear in the chat how everyone thought about the Peacock stuff tonight. But man, I mean, just a domination. We're going to get into the numbers here when JD gets on, but it was a defensive domination. I think we all thought we were going to win tonight, but the fact that we dominated them in the fashion that we did was just kind of just ridiculous. I mean, Karlaftis looks like the first round pick that we thought he would be, that JD and I. Uh-oh. How you feel, buddy? You warm?
Oh, man. Woo! Jeez.
You should have had some icicles coming from this, JD.
Yeah. I kind of figured, go ahead and thaw out as much as I could from being out there on the ice. Hold on, man. Let me make sure I'm getting myself together. Woo. Well, it's cold out there today. My goodness.
I mean, it didn't look like it affected us at all. It definitely affected those cats from Miami, though, for sure.
Oh man, you ain't kidding. Okay.
JD, so I was looking at the numbers here because I was curious because obviously Mike McDaniel, high-powered offense, that's what he kind of brings to this MO. I looked in the Mike McDaniel era, that was the lowest scoring output in the Mike McDaniel era. They haven't scored that low since week 17 of 2021 when they scored 3 points to the Tennessee Titans. Today they scored 7 points. When we played them earlier on the season was 14. I think that was their tie for the lowest scoring output of the season. And then tonight, 7 points. I mean, what do you think of because we usually leave the show with offensive miscues and stuff. Let's just talk defense for right now. Sure. What did you see tonight defensively? Because I mean, this was just domination, hard hitting, hard smack, and a team that came to play in this weather.
What I saw, man, I seen Spags put together a brilliant game plan against this offense. And so I think that's really the testament of it is when you have weapons around on the defensive side of the ball that can play like Snead, like McDuffie, the secondary, the linebackers, Chris Jones, Kalafkas, Chris Menahu, that all of that transpired to what you've seen what Miami wasn't able to do. And so they went in, they challenged each and every receiver. They gave different looks to Tua, where he didn't necessarily get comfortable. And even when he was getting comfortable, he wasn't necessarily seeing guys open because our guys were just that tight coverage. It was a lot of lockdown coverage from our defense. I know we don't really talk too much about defense on our show because they do such a good job. Everybody sees it, right? I mean, we just give them the accolades and the high praise, but for a game like this, it's well deserved to show what they have been doing, getting the turnover as well. Mike Edwards, and so they've been playing great ball all season. We've said this. We said when Patrick was talking about this, but we also said this too, Marcus. If you're scoring a certain amount of points, you're going to win the game. bottom line. And I was just looking at that number, right? I was just telling you the number was going to be 24. 24 is the number for us to win. And so we got that. The defense delivered, but they got the one deep pass to Tyreek, and that was it. That was the only thing they had. It was the only thing they had. So the guys up front did a masterful job making sure that the running backs didn't get any lanes. The linebackers did a good job tackling and hitting those guys so they didn't get no extra yards. But everybody, man, just was locked in and focused to play a very high-powered offense. And like I said before, they knew what the task was. The weather played a little bit into it. I just, to be honest with you, I would have went back maybe to Tyreek throwing a couple of deep balls. I mean, I would have, shoot. What's it going to hurt? What's it going to hurt? But I think, because of what we did defensively, man, we kind of had them shook. So that's what I was seeing.
Teja, what did you notice from? I mean, everyone's talking about George Karlaftis' game, Snead doing what he did, McDuffie. Obviously, McDuffie was the one covering Tyreek on the touchdown, but I mean, he made up for it with some of these thumps that he had tonight. But what did you make of what you saw from the defense today?
Outside of that 53-yard catch, Tyreek Hill had 4 for 9. That is crazy. I mean, that is. You know what? If you were to tell me Tyreek will catch a bomb against you, but he'll have under 10 yards the rest of the game, I would probably say, all right, I'll take it. So good exchange for me. We learned our lesson really early before things got out of hand. So we readjusted. Snead was punching Hill at the line. There was that one. They didn't show a replay of it, which I got really upset about. That one where he just nailed Tyreek to the ground, and Tyreek hated it and tried shoving back afterwards. I didn't replay it, but man, that was money. And honestly, we should have had more sacks than just 2 all game, which is pretty crazy. But Tua was trying to get rid of that ball so fast, and he just looked rough, man. He just looked, there was that glove story during the week, and then he wasn't going to wear a glove anymore. It's funny, you watch us, it didn't look like it was cold for us, and it looked like it was negative 10, 20, 30 for the Dolphins. Tua had no zip on that ball. I don't know if that was weather related. I don't know if you're a baseball fan, JD, but that looked like Greg Maddux in one of his last seasons throwing a fastball, man. He had nothing on it.
Yeah, love Maddux. Yeah.
It was just, I love him too. But it was just hanging up there, man. Even on quick passes, you thought we just zip it. It was take forever, and his receivers were getting hit hard because of that.
That Joker looked cold on the sideline when he was sitting up. Just every time you just all the way up to here, eyes. Yep. His eyes was cold. You can see his eyeballs were cold. That Joker was ready.
It was so cold that it degraded the quality of the helmet.
What?
That it chunked off. The helmet.
Yeah.
Off.
Oh yeah,
it was so cold that it lowered the quality of the friggin' helmet.
Yeah, right. Man. I think what you were just saying that about Tua. It just balls are just kind of selling on him. But I think that goes into where the weather is a factor where you're not able to squeeze the ball like you want to and kind of get the ball out. And so if you don't have that, and also our defense played really well as far as catching the quick screens, right? The little quick passes. They were right there. They just played just challenging, competitive ball. The one time, did y'all see when Snead put Tyreek Hill on the ground?
Yeah.
The jam?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, we talking about bully ball. Like Snead and the DBs just basically owned the wide receivers. They really did. They owned them. So
I should have rewatched the first game from the year before we watched this game. I didn't see it. I mean, was there a much different approach than they had in the first game? It seemed like they just kind of carried on to do the same thing. Those screens didn't work in the first game either. I don't even know why they brought them back and did that again. They were getting killed on those, dude. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, no. I think it was just, get your hands on them quick and early and stay physical. And so if you see a guy like that back up, then immediately attack. And that's what you have to do with those guys. You can't give quick guys space. You just can't. You can't do it. And so the more space that Waddle, or Tyreek has, that's to their advantage. That's to their advantage. And so, bottle them up as quick as possible.
It all started with stopping the run, though. If they had a decent run game, they could have played the play action a lot more, and they just couldn't because it wasn't going anywhere. So it just didn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Dolphins just looked. I mean, I'm looking at the rushing right now. So Raheem Mostert, 8 carries, 33 yards. And I know he was banged up going into this game. I mean, he was generally banged up all season with the questionable tag every week, it would seem like. Jalen Waddle, he had to carry one for 9. A-Chain, 6 carries, 9 yards. And I knew A-Chain's a kind of a finesse kind of guy. I did not think this kind of weather was going to be suitable for him to kind of go off on us this week. And then Tua had his biggest rushing performance of the season, I believe. I think he had his longest run of the season for 14 yards in this game, but 3 carries, 25 yards, which I was actually, I don't watch a lot of Tua games. I didn't have him in fantasy. I don't really watch him a lot, but I didn't realize he wasn't much of a rusher or a runner from a quarterback's point. Usually smaller type guys, they can get out of the pocket a little bit. He doesn't really do much of that.
He has the ability to do it, but because he has, very dependable backs that can, he doesn't have to. Now, I think to be honest with you, that's probably to their demise, to be, not to utilize his legs.
Yeah.
That's another weapon when you have a runner as a quarterback, can at least get you, a couple of yards here and there. That kind of keeps the defense, somewhat honest. And so they have to come up and kind of play as opposed to sitting back there in coverage. But I think, like you and kind of going to like the play action, if the running game is not effective, then I would tell the linebackers, first thing you do is play pass first, then come up for the run. I mean, that's what you do. I think, that their game is the passing game. It is that kind of getting vertical, trying to get, the holes behind the linebackers. You just got to stay, really, responsible in your assignment, not to go for it, and just hope all the guys up front are just, take 1, take 2. That's what you have to do. So now defense, man, I mean, shoot, I'm telling you, if they play like this and they continue to play like they've been playing like it all year, I don't know why they wouldn't continue playing like that. This is a real a shot, man, of getting another Super Bowl. Seriously. I mean, I don't see anybody else. When we do that, man, we playing with the best of them. And like you said, we've been going left and right with the best receivers in the game and been shutting everybody down, every single person down.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point are we going to call Mike Edwards the Dolphins killer? Because, I mean, this guy, he was the one who had the lateral to Cook on that touchdown in that Germany game. And today he comes with that pick, almost had another pick right before halftime. I mean, yeah, he's just amazing. He's probably, and I know we said it earlier on in the season, how he was probably the most underrated signing we had this offseason. The 1-year, $3 million deal. And everyone loved the Tranquil pickup. But Mike Edwards has been, especially with the injuries we've had in the safety room, that pickup was invaluable.
Yeah.
I think it was our best free agency maybe of Veach's tenure.
Are you talking about the value aspect of it? Like
just how important they were. Tranquil, Edwards, Omenahu. I mean, I guys from the past. I mean, I know I'm speaking out of my ass right now, but
no.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, Tranquil has been huge for us this year, especially with both missing games.
I would say the 3 guys that we got deals on this year who have been starters or somewhat semi-starters is Tranquil, Mike Edwards, and Donovan Smith. I mean, all 3 of those guys.
The other one.
Those guys have done a tremendous job the entire season.
What's funny is that those 4 guys' salaries don't equal what our biggest signing of the offseason was, and we didn't even name him, by the way. So isn't that funny?
Yeah,
we were talking about value signings, though. I mean,
If anything, I mean, the grade goes down when you consider Taylor's signing.
That's true. That's true.
Although he had a good game, and I think that he got pushed a little bit in the back, which is the reason why he pushed that guy in the back on that callback touchdown.
No, it's like good.
No,
good. Hey, good.
Even a little bit.
His back on that, Teja, but that sucker hit him dead in the back. He knew exactly what he was doing. But to be honest with you, that's a call right there that he could have got away with. I just really didn't understand why they called it that. But hey, it's kind of unfortunate, man, because it took one from us.
I
Took a
know.
touchdown away from us, man.
Yeah.
And those are the things that was been plaguing us all season. You know, when you sit there and you score, then all of a sudden you get a penalty, you go back, and all of a sudden you got to kick a field goal. You know, hate seeing that. But we recovered. We recovered, man. We recovered.
We did.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to our guy John Clifford. Thanks for the
All right.
back in the channel as always, brother.
Here's to you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Pelvis Esley, one of our followers, one of our guys, gentlemen. I'm sick as a dog, but great win. Love you guys. Love you too, buddy. Hope you feel better. Hopefully that win cheers you up a little bit. Maybe you get back and get up a little bit. But yeah,
the immune system.
Real quick, shout out. Yeah, no, look, shout out to the fans for showing up for the game, right? And Duncan Pond says that game ball to the Chiefs fans at the stadium, without a doubt. Seeing that crowd there, it gives a lot of energy to the guys and the players, and you can't do it without those guys showing up, people showing up for it. So hats off to them, man, braving the elements for that long. I'm telling you, man, I'm just y'all amazing job. I know I was kind of poking fun at it, but y'all just, hey, man, the people that was out there pulled your shirts off, which was crazy doing that. I wouldn't have done that, but just staying there for the 3 hours, however long this thing lasted. Was big. It was huge, man. It was huge. We needed the fans for today.
We did. And hopefully we get to have them back next week if Pittsburgh takes care of business on Monday. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can win. Hopefully we give him another shot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fans, the real MVPs today. So you kind of mentioned Donovan Smith, and that's where I want to go with the offense next. And we talked about it this week. Last 2 weeks we talked about 3 weeks. If you go back to the Cincinnati game, we talked about how that post-game interview, Mahomes said we just need to score. We just need to get out there. Butker was the MVP tonight with the Bengals game. And then we go back to this week when Mahomes at his press conference, we just need to score. Our defense is good enough. We just need to get points on the board. He didn't necessarily say, obviously, quarterback wants to score in the red zone, wants to score touchdowns, not field goals. But we just need to come away with points on every drive. And today, we did that. We came away with points. I think, did we even have a punt today, or we may have one punt today?
We did.
One, okay. But generally, we were going down there, and obviously, we had the touchdown that was called back, got a field goal out of it. But we're getting points on every drive. And our defense is that good.
Three punts.
Honestly, didn't even feel like it. I don't even remember having that many punts. But as far as we're getting away with points, we have a good defense that's going to keep us in every game. As long as we're coming away, scoring every drive, we're going to be in every game. We can win every game because of that. And that's what the point Mahomes made. JD, what did you see from the offense today? Because it seemed like the offense is clicking. Just simply put, it's just clicking finally.
Yeah. So what I saw was we made some huge plays. Rasheed Rice was brilliant as always.
Man.
Travis Kelce, people that was talking about him slowing down, doesn't see an ounce of truth in that at all. And you have Isaiah Pacheco doing what he does. And then, of course, the cherry on the top was PM15. Look, when you have big games, you had to have big players show up, okay? And all your big dogs showed up on offense today, no doubt about it. And so that's what you needed to see. You needed to see that. And then you have everybody, the other group of guys filtering in, right? Like even Richie James, catching a couple balls for the first down. McCole Hardman even stretching the defense like he did,
trying to.
But the thing is that I'm telling you what that did to the defense. It opened it up because now they're throwing deep. So you got to think in your back of the head. Well, now we can't just sit 8 over here or 7 in the box and try to keep them, in the short range because now they're throwing deep routes. And McCole Hardman, we know, could take the top off the defense. They knew it. The one guy had to grab him around his waist because he knew McCole Hardman had him beat. Matter of fact, McCole Hardman had each guy beat each and every time.
Yeah,
they just didn't connect. They just didn't connect. So that's vital. That's very important. So when you see Rasheed Rice catching those balls over the middle, the deep crossing routes, that takes that McCole Hardman running that safety off. He's got to be able to open up, and maybe take 2. That's how these things work. And so Patrick Mahomes got the ball out of his hand clean, real well. I think we kind of struggled a little bit in our pass blocking. I'm gonna say up front, and the reason I say this is because they was bringing 6. We've been having problems with the ET stunts and the loops all season. And I've seen that tonight. All right. It's just my observation as a coach. We got to do a much better job. And I don't know why we haven't done a much better job. You know what helps out with that? When you have a guy like McKinnon who understands, some of the, the blocking, he can make us look good. He can make it look like everything's clean. And so some of the pressure that they brought was because of that. Nobody was passing off like they should have been. Yeah. But other than that, man, I think Pacheco ran hard like he always does. I said he was the core. He was the one that needed to get off, and he showed exactly what we needed to do. Once he started running the football, everything started opening up for us all as well. So
I know you, JD, and I talked about this a lot on the show. That opening drive to throw the ball the first 2 plays, I know you were like, "Oh no, please don't tell me we're starting like this."
Golly, I'm sitting there. I was already crossing my arms like this. I'm like, yo, this is what we're doing. We just nobody got the memo. Like, we just don't understand. Like, this is what we're gonna run. We're not gonna run 10. We want to do that. And so once we got the first down to Travis Kelce on the first one, hey, yes, hand the ball off to Pacheco, please. Okay, yeah. That's the game goes as he goes. So that's what it is, man. That's what we're going to, man. So that's what I've seen offensively.
I was the most mad on that third down. They didn't give the ball to Pacheco. They did that stupid Hardman play. That one where he tried to wiggle through for like a first down. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a brutal one. That was one I was.
What did you think about that, JD? Too cute.
Which one? I don't know. I might not have seen that one.
It was a third and inches instead of it was a fake like.
Oh yeah.
And then a little end around to
If you hand out Pacheco, he gets it clean.
Yeah,
it was whole wide open. Yeah.
So I believe the next play was Pat's scamper on the 4th and inches.
Yeah, right.
So it went to a good cause in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rice and Kelce, 22 targets. I mean, no one else got more than 3 on the team.
Shoot.
What do we say at one point this year? Like 90% of the targets need to go to Rice and Kelce.
Yeah.
It was even nice to see MVS catch a ball.
Yeah. First down.
Good for his confidence.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe he can build off that. Maybe send him deep. I don't want to get too bold. Don't get too confident, but he can track the balls better than Hardman. He just can't catch the balls. That's been his problem more so. But he's good at tracking them. He just can't grab them. We scored. We had 6 red zone trips, which is great, and we scored at least a field goal in all of them. 2 out of 6. I mean, that kind of goes with our red zone woes all season. Against a more high-powered offense who's clicking at the right moment, and maybe at Buffalo, perhaps those will need to be one more of those would need to be a touchdown. 3 touchdowns and 3 field goals. I would prefer that. That's 30 points. You know what I mean? I'd like to see more of that. Granted, that Rice one got called back. That could have easily been one. But and we're nitpicking at this point because we played amazing. That's my main negative aspect. I just wish we had a little higher ratio on that one.
Yeah. And I think at one point in the first half or at halftime, we had 4 red zone trips and they had 5 first downs. So we were moving the ball at will.
They didn't have a red zone trip all game.
Yeah, no,
crazy.
I'm talking about their first down.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just crazy, dude. I had to look twice. They were 1 of 12 on third down.
Yeah,
that is. I mean, that's crazy, man.
We was getting them in like long third downs too. It wasn't. It was like they had a couple of short ones, but other than that, man, they it was kind of like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8. Something they had to get. But they played at a high level. And let me talk a little bit more on offense side of the ball too. I know somebody said getting Kelce going early was another key to it, and that rightfully so. The way that Rasheed Rice has just been, showing up. The way he catches the ball with his hands, to me, is impressive, especially in the cold. Because I'm just like, they said it. And we used to hear it all the time, like plucking the ball out of the air. In a game like this, because it hurts so much, you usually try to body catch and you try to do different things like that, man. And he's catching it, I mean, clean. He was catching it clean. So he did a phenomenal job. He did a phenomenal job catching the football, getting open. And they did. They started running some man coverage. They started running some zone. And guys, he found a window, and Patrick threw it to him. So at times when our offensive line gave Patrick time to throw the football, he picked them apart. If we carry that into the next game, then that's I have no problem with that. And I still say some of that may have to do with, maybe the weather had a little bit to do with some of the things, the play calling you want to give. This is what I would do. I'm just going to say, when we're down going into the end zone within 3 or 4 yards, we need to bring a guy in motion who's going to be like that lead back. I know somebody was talking about fullback, play that position. And I'm just like, if you have that tight end or whoever it is, I don't care if it's a wide receiver, bring Justin Watson in and let him motion all the way down. Let him be the lead guy. Okay, hand the ball off. I think plays like that, man, kind of open up too. But sometimes when we sit there, we run spread, and then all of a sudden you hand it off Pacheco, then they got the numbers on us. And guys not coming up to get to the second level. And so we got to get a little bit more craftier or a little bit more, how would I say it? More intentional or how we're going to block, especially down there going into the end zone. So I would say that's something that we need to focus on. We definitely need to focus on those things. So that's just that for me as looking at offensively, we can do a much better job in our running game by incorporating a little bit more motion, running some guys up inside to go block it as lead blocker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Shout out Chad Holbrook, Jason Dunn, Arm.
Chad, my man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. Yeah.
So talking about the offense, there's a couple things I want to get to. We'll start. You mentioned Rasheed Rice. I thought this was funny. Nick Wright. He's obviously, everyone knows, huge Chiefs fan. Very biased. A lot like the other Bengals, Bills fans cannot stand him, but Chiefs fans, we love him. We love having a national guy. But he tweeted Tyreek Hill in the NFL playoffs the last 2 years. This goes against the whole Chiefs need Tyreek Hill narrative, even though we won without him. But people forget that. The last 2 years, Tyreek Hill in the playoffs, 12 catches, 131 yards, 1 touchdown. Rasheed Rice in the NFL playoffs the last 2 years, 8 catches, 130 yards, 1 touchdown. Last year, Rasheed Rice didn't play in the NFL. So really it's 1 year, and he's already almost exceeded the amount of yards, same amount of touchdowns, and only 4 less catches. I mean, just a funny little thing there. A little nugget.
Come on, man.
But Rasheed Rice, man, he looked phenomenal today. I do want to ask, we talked about getting Kelsey going early. So one of the things, obviously, he had a stellar game, but it seemed like he was having trouble with the high balls that were being thrown to him. And they didn't seem like they were like out of this world high where he had to jump for it, but it just seemed like, was he thinking about running before going to make those grabs, JD? When you see that the I guess 2 or 3 drops on the high balls that were coming to him, what'd you make of that?
I think he just kind of missed them. I think he just, one went straight through his hands. Another one, he just kind of just missed them. And like I said, that's why I said, like, that ball, man, it's like a bowling ball coming to you. That's how it feels when it's cold and the ice has gotten onto it, and it feels like a rock being thrown. And so it doesn't feel like the regular, because when it's warm, I guess the science of it doesn't feel as heavy. Let me put it that way. Right. And so when you pain and you're trying to get some feelings in your fingers, it's a little tougher catch, man. So I don't fault him on that. I think the only one that one that went through his hands was that one, and the other one he missed down by the red zone was the other one. I think was the two main drops. The other one I think kind of went through his hands. It's like, okay, whatever.
And he just turned around for it too, and that was a little more zippy for Mahomes on that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rice snatching those balls, man.
Yeah.
Man,
it didn't look like it was cold for him at all. He was just grabbing those things like they were sucking in there to those hands, dude.
Everybody else was bobbling balls. He's the only one that I didn't see bobble a ball at all. I mean, he was catching them clean and running with it. Like, he was running, tucking.
Yeah. And he was carrying defenders with him too. I mean, obviously, we know he is after he catches it. JD, we talked about the last few years when you get to a certain point in the season, these rookies, especially guys who are starting as much as they are, getting a lot of reps as they are, you say they're not rookies anymore by the time they get to week 17. They're not rookies anymore. And it seemed like Rasheed Rice, and obviously we've seen him progress throughout the season. That does not seem – what we saw tonight, that doesn't seem like a rookie to me, especially and we're talking about in the elements, too, of this game. That didn't seem like his first rodeo in the playoffs.
Nah, man, it's like a new season. I mean, you know exactly what's expected out of you. And he's fit into his position really well, right? I mean, that's and so he understands, and you could tell how comfortable he is being, the number one receiver for us. And that's what you want. That's what you want from a guy. We've seen that from our corners last year, right? During the playoffs, same thing. They were just kind of showing up, and they were just comfortable where they were at. And once a guy understands his role, and it's like, look, these are on your shoulders. Hey, look, we're not going to anybody else. You are number one. He's like, man, I get it. I'm cool with it. And he just performed like he's supposed to. He only knows what he knows, right? And so if he's been catching balls, he's been killing defenses, he only knows what he knows. And that's scoring touchdowns. That's scoring touchdowns, right? Getting first downs and just making yards. So I think, man, he continues this thing up. He's going to be a great player down the road. I love to keep a guy like this and then ask somebody else next year, with him. But that's all I know. It's a whole different conversation. But, he's No, I know it. He stepped into the number one role extremely well. So
Noah John Marshall, our day one guy, he asks, so do we forgive Veach for the wide receiver room after Rice's game?
So here's my thought. All right, Noah and John Marshall, I've said this. I do believe because of what we were able to get to win the Super Bowl last year with Juju and those guys, I do believe part of their arrogance went into why we didn't make certain decisions getting guys here. When we came into realizing how bad our wide receiver core, at least them not being on the same page, then you go get somebody like McCole Hardman, which made sense to me. I think my forgiveness happened then when we got McCole here. And then all of a sudden McCole got hurt, right? And then it was all on the guys to kind of figure these things out. So I know it's kind of a long answer, but man, look, these guys, it is what it is, man. We got to roll with it. And I think we were all behind just rolling with it. Who we got? We know who we got. So these guys got to figure it out, man. They've been doing a good job. So we just look for them to keep getting better. That's it.
Rasheed Rice,
man, y'all forgive Beach? What do you think? Y'all talk.
Well, I think at this point, Jenny, we talked about when we got Hardman. I remember we were doing a Bleacher Report spot, and the question was, do they go out and get a receiver? And we're like, at this point, like we know we've heard all the things about Andy Reid's playbook. We have to bring in someone who knows the playbook. And at that point, it was literally, what were the options? It was Hardman, it was D-Rob. I'm trying to think what other Chiefs receiver was out. Bringing back a Sammy Watkins. We weren't going to bring in a D-Hop Mike Evans. It was just it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was promising. We were promising like Richie James. We were hoping he was going to be something. And he got hurt early, right? Kadarius Toney didn't pan out the way that we thought he was going to do. He kept, getting hurt, and then kind of the drops, and then of course the whole controversy with him being on sides. It was just like just a whole array of different things, man, that was going on with these guys. But I'm glad these guys settled in and kind of start figuring these things out. And then it took also the coaches to understand. Let's take some of this stuff down, okay? Let's get a little bit more vanilla. Let's not try to give them everything, right? Let's condense some of our plays down and let them play within the confines. And then also, too, they had to figure out as well as the rotation. Like every guy can't do everything for us. I'm sorry. We look, if you had to figure out Sky Moore shouldn't be on the outside running deep routes, and he's not the guy for that. He's suited more for the guy finding windows inside. So be it. But I think just going through the growing pains of just seeing this through all the season was a problem. It was a problem we was dealing with.
Yeah.
We saw tonight, Watson stepped up and made a nice catch on the sidelines. Richie James made a nice third down catch. So, I mean, like, these guys are stepping up in ways that like the guys last year stepped up in the playoffs.
They're contributing.
Yeah. And that's what these guys did in the playoffs last year. I mean, that's what we need.
That's all we ask you to do. That's it. We don't need nobody to be a superstar. Other number one, you need to perform and play like the number one, and he did that tonight.
Yeah.
Period.
Rice in his last 2 games, 13 catches for 257 yards.
Yeah, balling, straight balling. Love it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
So JD and I talked. I mean, I know it was kind of I don't know if a pipe dream. And I'm not trying to say this guy's not going to pan out, but a lot of Chief fans are really hoping that we found our left tackle for the future in Wanye Morris. And JD and I still said that when we get to playoff time, where JD was, saying when we get to playoff time, still need Donovan Smith back. It's just that's what it is. And we saw tonight that Donovan Smith, and I know some Dolphins fan, I was like, Donovan Smith played awesome tonight. And a Dolphins fan commented, was like, oh, you should see the guy he's going against because the starters wasn't playing tonight. It was he was playing against a guy that just picked off on the street this week. But that being said, it was fair. It's a fair comment by the Miami Dolphins fan. But Donovan Smith looked great tonight. JD, what did you see from Donovan Smith? When I think about tackles and blocking, you're the expert you're on this stuff, on all this stuff. So I'm curious what you think about with Donovan Smith tonight.
First, the guy this guy you picked up from the street is named Justin Houston. Okay, do we need to remind you who Justin Houston is? Okay, if you don't know who he is, look up his resume. All right, and his history. All right, the Chiefs know a lot about him, and so he's still somebody that you had to contend with. But Donovan Smith coming back, man, you can tell a veteran presence, things he has to do, especially, going into playoffs, seeing all those different things. He understands that. And that's why I thought that Donovan Smith needed to come back, to come play. Wanye is still developing. He's still getting better. And his feet is not as good as Donovan. It's just not. He's not further along than Donovan. Now, when he came in, he did a great job. He gave us a good, reps coming in, reserving for Donovan, and he showed promise. He did. And like I said, for somebody who's going to be here in the future, then that bodes well for us. But he's not on the level as Donovan yet. That's just me as an offensive line coach. I know the difference. And so Donovan just has a little bit more craftiness. He's a little bit more settled in his feet. He understands leverage and those different things. And so you've seen it tonight. You've seen it. Yeah. I would even say that he did a much better job than Juwan did on the other side. He did. Reed was kind of given in the run game. He was heavy-handed against Juwan. Stop it. And I was just like, why aren't we getting more yards on the right side of the line? And that guy Reed was playing he's doing a hell of a job. He kept showing up. I'm like, man, who's this dude? Reed keeps showing up. And he was just stifling. He was just making plays. And somebody's it's just a code that you see, man. But our tackles did a pretty decent job. All the guys up front did a decent job. Like I said, man, I just looked at, in the future, Wanye is going to be good for us, man. He's still developing, though. He's still young. So.
Yeah, it was definitely great to get Donovan Smith back. I think that was kind of one of the unsung things. Because I think everyone's talking about the receivers and all that. And over the last few weeks, you and I were talking about Donovan Smith, he's coming back soon. And there were some fans out there like, no, don't put Donovan Smith back in. Let Wanye take his growing pains. Like
crazy.
We're trying to win a Super Bowl here. We're not trying to just be a one and done in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Come on, they act like they didn't see the last few games when the Max Crosby and those guys did against it. So yeah, let's be realistic, okay? And as far as like levels where guys are, and Wanye is not quite there where Donovan is. He's just not. Yeah, so I get people. Oh man, he looks good. That was our pick for us. Yeah, perfect. Hey, he looked great. He did. But I'm looking for a veteran guy. When we get into deep in the playoffs, when we need a guy to stop.
Yeah, it's nice.
Absolutely.
Let him compete for a job in training camp next year.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. We get the savvy, solid veteran, that guy in, right? The one that's wearing an eye patch and, has got, 2 or 3 guns.
Smith was a man out there today. You can just tell.
Who?
Smith was a man out there today. He was confident playing it. I wouldn't want a guy who's playing his first playoff game like that and nervous. It just wouldn't have sat well with me. You could just tell the difference overall.
KSU 1989 said Wanye ain't ready, never looked ready to me. he showed flashes of some good stuff. He put some good stuff on film. But I agree with you, KSU 1989. I don't think he's as ready as people think he is. For a playoff game like this. If it had to come to him playing, I would have been fine with it. I'd have been fine with it. But between these two, Donovan and Wanye, I'm taking Donovan. I'd had to take Donovan, no doubt about it. So,
especially when you are a team like the Chiefs, you are a team that's ready to win right now. If we're like a team that's like, for example, if we were the Browns, we barely got into the playoffs, or the Texans who barely got into the playoffs, or Steelers, and like, you know what, we have this guy who's an older veteran guy who may not be with the team next year, but we got this young guy who's looked all right. Then I say, yeah, start Wanye Morris, but we're not. That's not us. We're a team who's trying to win right now, and you go with the guy who's an experienced dude who's played in the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl, Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
And to the Dolphins fan making the excuse of playing against guys that are on the street, Donovan Smith missed 5 games. It was first game back in a month and a half from injury. So, yeah, I can counter a guy off the street with a guy who hasn't played in a month and a half, who came right back in and picked up where he left off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
well, I mean, he's only going to get better for sure. He's only going to get better.
So this, I wanted to say this. I wanted to see JD's reaction to this. So JD, we talk about giving the guy, like, how, NFL teams just don't give the ball. They'll pound the ball to the running backs anymore.
Yeah.
Tonight,
mm-hmm.
Isaiah Pacheco had his most carries in a single game in his career. He had 24 carries, beating his record of 22 in his rookie season against the Rams, where he went 22 for 69. Tonight, 24 for 83. So, yeah, 24 carries tonight.
It's good. Love seeing it. He needs to be up somewhere around 18 to 24 or 22. Every game he should. Every game should be like that.
And remember, we were saying on the betting show, as long as he hit his over-under around his number for carries, even like 3.5, as long as he gets over 3.5 yards per carry, he'll be fine. And no, John, he asked about our bets, Marcus. They went great.
Did yours hit? All 5 hit?
Yeah.
All 5 of mine hit too. See, JD, that's why you should have taken my bet, not Teja's 25 for 94.
Yo, look, I told you which one was. It was the one, Marcus, and I'm looking at it right now. It was the 23.5 rushing yards.
He got 2. And the thing is, Mahomes only had 2 carries for 41 yards tonight.
I know.
Yeah, man.
Because he could have easily not gotten that 23.5 yards rush.
He was not looking to run, though.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Those were broken plays where they covered well on those plays, and he was like, shit. So he just took off, and it was there. But he was not looking for it at all.
No, he wasn't. And then when it opened up, I'm like, go, run.
Yep. Yeah, that was great. He got mine on that first run. I was like, all right, good. Cross that one off the list. We're done.
Rob South, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the love. Appreciate all you guys. You guys have been fantastic. I think we got up to about 100 on the chat tonight so far, this live stream. A midnight in Wild Card weekend, guys. I love it. I love the energy everyone's bringing tonight. So we kind of talked about the different pieces that we saw offensively, defensively tonight. So now we're getting down to divisional round. And divisional round, we either get to play Houston, who dominated Cleveland. We had our show, the betting show. We all talked about the different matchups this weekend, and JD, I think, was the only one on the show who had Houston in that game. So JD's 2-0 on the weekend on his picks. So guys, tune into the betting show if you want to hear real deal picks. JD's 2-0. So JD picked Houston. Now Buffalo, Pittsburgh gets moved to Monday because the snow. Now Pittsburgh wins, we play Houston. Buffalo wins, we go to Buffalo. Now, JD, obviously, I know we talked about this last week. Who would you rather play? But of the 2 teams, Buffalo, Houston. Obviously, Houston, we'll be hosting another game. If it's Buffalo, we have to go to Buffalo. Obviously, what do you prefer as far as the 2 games? And what are the pros and cons of playing each team? Just curious.
Okay, so I said this. I said Houston is probably one of the most scariest teams in the playoff run out of everybody. Out of all the teams in the playoffs and NFC, AFC, the Houston Texans is the most dangerous to me, right? Because they got a great coach, they got a great quarterback, they got some great pieces and wide receivers around them. You got a pretty solid defense, that doesn't break when they need to. So they can do things. They can do some things, man, offensively. Do I prefer playing Houston? Yeah, probably, absolutely. So you got the young guys opposed to going against the Josh Allen and those guys up there. Don't want to go to Buffalo, but we're not scared of them. I ain't scared of none of them, and I know our guys aren't either. Matter of fact, I want to exact revenge. I like to go up there to Buffalo and actually end a season. Okay, and we got the team that's ripe for it. But yeah, I prefer maybe Houston. But Houston, like I said, is a dangerous team. We cannot take this team lightly. You've seen what they did. I mean, come on. I'm serious. And it was like they were just clicking. The plays they were running. They got their tight ends. Man, got up the sideline. I forgot how long that was, man. But that joker, he's athletic too.
76 yards.
76 yards. Man, I think I called somebody and said, yo, they tight end just had like a 70-yard, catch and run.
Fast as hell.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's athletic. Yeah. I've been watching him a little bit all season. But they're sneaky good. They really are. And they all together. That's the thing about it. They love playing for one another. They love winning for one another too. So I like Houston. I like the guys. I like how they play. I like DeMarco, but I'd rather play them obviously than Buffalo guys.
And also, too, a team like that playing with house money, no one really expected this from them. So, however far they go, it's like, oh man, we got that far. Like, okay, no one expected that from us this year. But hey, we're just playing with house money at this point. And we're talking about a team that Miami limped into the playoffs. These guys kind of roared into the playoffs. Having that Saturday night win, that big time win that got them, that locked them into that spot, and then Jacksonville losing and then them winning the division because of that. So they have a lot of juicy momentum right now. That's a scary team to play.
Yeah.
And if you look at Buffalo too, if Miami is the most injured, battered team, Buffalo might be second on that list.
Yeah, man.
They're beat up pretty bad too, and that's before they play a freezing cold snow game against Pittsburgh. So. And Pittsburgh can lay the wood, and they're always known for that. So even if they come out, without any injuries, they still have a lot going into our game. But I mean, I would obviously rather play the home, be at home again. It's hard to pass up. But yeah, both teams playing well. It's funny if we beat Buffalo, their win streak, we started their win streak, and we'd end their win streak.
Wow,
really?
Yeah, because they've won 5 straight since our game. Our game was their first one of the 5 straight.
Okay, so they didn't lose. I thought they lost. So they didn't.
Chiefs,
okay.
Cowboys, Chargers, Patriots, Dolphins, and now this one.
Okay.
Yeah, their last game they lost was Philly the week before.
That's right.
And that was a shootout. That was 37-34. So.
Yeah, that was the overtime game.
But I even said it then because I didn't have a good feeling that going into that Buffalo game. I didn't. I said it then. It actually, there's silver lining to that loss. It was that we want revenge going into the playoffs. If we play them again, we probably will play them again. So
no doubt.
Here we are.
No doubt. Right.
And they beat us at Arrowhead. So now it's time to return the favor.
They've done everything they could possibly do to win games. I mean, they put out all stops. I mean, like you said, just beat up and they have been doing everything. And I think they're worn down. I do. I think they are. So.
Yeah. Their play. We talked about on the betting show. Their playoffs started about a month and a half ago because they had to win those games to get in.
Yeah.
That takes a toll.
Yeah, it's a good and bad thing. It gets that they're already in the mode, but at the same time, it's that sustainable for half of a season.
Yeah,
they're going on now. They're 6th week doing that. So by the time they get to us, that's 7 weeks of playoff football. That's a long time.
I think we got a good game plan against them too, man. Against Buffalo, Spags does. It's always get Josh Allen on the ground. Like when you have him, you got to tackle him. You got to be solid in your tackles on a big quarterback like him. If they make it, right? But he's the one that you stop him, man. It's all over.
Extra day to game plan since they play on Monday.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, I think. I didn't see they have the schedule yet as far as what the games are going to be, but I have to imagine we're going to be at least a Sunday game next week because they're playing on a Monday.
Which technically gives them a short week.
It's 6 days, we get 7 days, or we get 8 days, we get the extra day.
Short for them, I'm saying, because they play on Monday.
Yeah.
Monday to Sunday is a shorter turnaround. We get an extra day, they got it one less day, which is just as considering our stupid schedule this year with all the traveling and short weeks we've had.
Yeah.
Good.
That's true.
About time we got something.
Somebody asked this question: if Kelsey played like a little bit of the fourth quarter. I see Noah in there, so I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know if he played the fourth quarter or not as much.
That was a great catch by Noah Gray, by the way.
Yeah.
Great. That readjustment to catch that was money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if Kelsey played that fourth quarter. I mean, I think that fourth quarter was all about just getting out of there. So maybe it might have been smart for them to just, hey, we're already up by 3 possessions at this point. Just cool.
Well, I do know when we went into our 4-minute offense, he wasn't in there at all.
Oh, and you know what?
Yeah,
They never showed him again after that rough hit he had on the side where his head banged back. I wonder if there was anything after, because I don't think I saw him after that after his head banged back.
Yeah, I don't know, Mark. I don't want. Hey, God, don't say nothing. Don't.
Well, that's the thing. I remember seeing that, but they never showed him again after that. And usually when that stuff happens, like, oh man, he's going to the tent. Like, well, but they didn't. We didn't see that. And I never thought about it. I don't know if we saw him after that, but they never made a big deal about it. So
no, I think he's fine. I think we just put in Noah Gray and Blake Bell. Especially at the end. Let him rest. Sucker had what 7 for 71.
Yeah,
something like that tonight.
Yeah,
that's interesting though, because he showed his face after that hit. Man, he felt every bit of that.
I mean, JD knows when you fall in that hard, cold grass. Woo.
Trying to tell you, man.
I'll leave a mark.
Yeah. I can see on the guys' faces how cold they were. I felt it. I could feel it. I'm like, yeah, I know that feeling. I know exactly that feeling. I know that hit. I know exactly how that hit feels.
Michael Campbell writes here, he was out there when Clyde fumbled the ball, and that was our last offensive drive.
Okay.
Or second to last one. So there you go. So okay, that's good. I'm no less nervous now. JD, before we get out of here, people are making a big to-do. You're obviously former NFL player, so you're obviously all into the safety and of everything. Yeah. Everyone's saying, a lot of media members are saying that it's inexcusable and irresponsible by the NFL to not have Mahomes go into the tent after his helmet, the piece breaking off his helmet. That they should have held him out to get a concussion test.
Why? He didn't show any signs of being loopy and any of those things. He didn't show any signs of that. They just seemed, I think it was just faulty equipment. That's what it was. Yeah, it wasn't something like, oh, well, he looked like he was a little dazed. He didn't look none of that.
That's like saying if a guy's mouthpiece comes out, he should get tested for a concussion or something.
Yeah, oh, gosh. Okay? Yeah, like that. God,
if the hit was so hard it made his mouthpiece fall off, then what? He might have a concussion, sure.
Right. Yeah. No, I didn't think it. I didn't think it at all. Matter of fact, I didn't know what they were talking about until they replayed, like, oh, shoot, somebody's helmet came off, right? But yeah, I didn't see any signs to him like when he got hit, that he was a little dinged or slow, and I can usually see those things. I'm like, oh, okay, you guys see a little bit, but no, I didn't see anything at all from him. Yeah, so
yeah,
I think the most piss poor part of that is he played another play after that helmet was like chipped up. Someone needed to catch that quicker, is my opinion.
I don't think he didn't notice it. He didn't even notice it.
No, he had no idea. Yeah. But no one, they finally saw, I think, another play after that. Afterward, they finally noticed it.
It was, I don't know, because I was just, because sometimes they let guys play. If it's something hanging off, but it's something blatant like that, they see it. Yeah, stop play. Hey, go ahead and get his helmet checked, and that's why they have another one and just put the microphone back in the other one, get it ready. Those guys on the sideline do a great job, man. Equipment manager, shout out to those guys, man. Those guys always do a great job for the Chiefs. And, we talked about people who don't get enough recognition. It's those guys. They get to do things ready, man. So I know Allen and all those guys, Schwab, all the equipment dudes do a great job for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Just having everything ready. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to them guys.
100%.
Yeah. Maybe a better backup helmet for him next time, because he did not look happy with those helmet choices.
Yeah, JD, you can speak to that. Do you guys have extra helmets ready? Does each player have an extra helmet ready? Like, tennis players, they bring extra rackets to their matches and stuff.
No. No. Like that's a rarity to see a piece like that fly off your helmet. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before.
Wow.
Guys get cracked, and what's ended up happening, maybe a guy go in and you might use somebody else's helmet that has like the same size or something, just kind of in the same style. Because a lot of it's just the padding, and you have everything worked in as comfortable as possible. So the one they had, the backup one, I could tell he was really uncomfortable with. It was up high on his head, and
his like ear was like squished.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, but hey, man, you gotta do what you got to do. You got to do what you got. But no, we don't have a backup. Maybe the quarterback may have an extra one, but they have helmets. Plenty of helmets the guys can get in. They know our size and all. They know all that stuff. Right. They can transfer all our pads into a helmet real quick. So,
yeah, I think it's a little weird now or different now because I think like Mahomes, he's sponsored by a different like helmet company. Like the helmet he uses is a different helmet than like. Because I remember it was one of these helmet companies. I think it was like not ASICS. It sounds like ASICS or whatever. ACIS. It's a company that also makes like NASCAR helmets. It's the same kind of technology they use for that. I think that's what he uses. So it's just interesting that, because back in the day, I feel like everyone had a Rydell, and it was a different kind of Rydell. Nowadays, everyone's got their own different like brand they use.
Time to shop for a new maker, I guess.
I think the elements definitely had something to do with that, though.
Oh, no, totally. Yeah,
no doubt.
You don't usually see that. That's crazy.
Made that sucker brittle.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. It was awesome seeing everybody in the chats tonight. Noah, we appreciate you. Yes, we did step up all the other coverage. We're going to be continuing that all year long, brother. So yeah, we appreciate you noticing, seeing all that we got to give to everybody. But yeah, so JD and I will be back on. So obviously we had a Saturday game, so we get the Sunday off. So JD and I will be back on Monday, 11:30 a.m. Bleacher Report. That'll be our Monday morning tight end show. We'll do some grades and we'll look over some stuff to look forward to. Obviously, we won't know who our opponent is when we do our show at that point, but yeah, we'll do our best to grade what we saw tonight and different storylines that come out of this game. But love you guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, your holiday weekend. And yeah.
A lot of people coming in, man. Appreciate you guys. Every single one of y'all for the donation and just talking with us. We love the engagement and great questions from everybody. Great
100%.
questions. All right. Love each and every one of y'all. Y'all keep it up. Come see us again. Fellas, love you guys.
Love you guys.
We'll see you. Okay.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get